impossible travel like concurrent session, mass export from CRM drive mailbox, and response playbook steps should be reheard. Revoke refresh tokens and terminate sessions, disable account, reset credentials, require MFA re-enrollment, remove suspicious OAuth app and revoke concerts org-wide, rotate keys, secrets, found if exfil data, and a key mindset. The breach isn't they login. The breach is they stayed in and exposed. So optimize the eviction speed and export detection. Now I'll give you the promised piece. A 90 days plan you can start immediately. So here's the practical plan, practical 90 days plan. Don't try everything. Pick the the 5 or 7 actions with the highest blast radius reduction for your organization. To the first 30 days, visibility at quick wins, inventory of apps and scopes in key tenants, Microsoft 365, Workspace, Salesforce. Block user self-concern or require admin approval for high-risk scopes. Identify standing admins and break glass accounts. Protect with the strongest MFA. Turn on export audit login in critical SaaS. Ships to CM. As a second step, hardening. Roll out phishing resistant MFA and to privileged users and IT helpdesk first. Reduce sessions lifetime. Enforce reauth. Enforce reauth for exports admin actions. Implement just-in-time and PAM, privileged access management for admin elevation. Start with cloud control plane. Rotate expire long-live access keys. Move to short-lived credentials. And as a third step, create token theft and auth compromise IR runbook. Run the tabletop with global stakeholders, measure time to revoke sessions, automate detections, new auth grant, export spike, and risky geo. Establish quarterly access reviews and governance candidates. If you do some of these items, you'll reduce the identity breach change at multiple links. Harder initial access, hardened persistence, less privilege, faster eviction, less exfilled. And let me close with the main takeaways and then we'll do the QA. Takeaways. Identity was a breach. Define identity like production infrastructure. Assume credentials with leak. Design the fast containment. Session revocation, less privilege. MFA necessary but not sufficient. So token theft is a default bypass. Treat OAuth apps and the integration as non-human identities with blast radius. Zero starting privilege and top governance at high leverage with wins for 2026. I don't know. I'm talking very fast, I think. Happy to take questions.
Well, this is excellent. First of all, great job. And so
Thank
yes,
you for
if
that.
anybody has questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get to them. But I definitely agree that the identity is really a big thing. It's sort of who, are you who you say you are, and how do companies control that? I think you've given both the problem and the solution. And we did cover kind of a lot of ground, so maybe we can kind of tease it apart a little bit more. And also, can we think about some, and this, I welcome all our speakers to comment on this, but can we think about some real world examples and real world breaches that we've seen 2025 or sort of just generally speaking, the big ones where that identity kind of caused a big problem? Like, what were some of the bigger stories that we've seen.
Hmm, let me think. Let me, but I want to say something. Uh, hmm, Let me include something more like a reality check and audience calibration. So let me include this one. So before we go deeper and quick calibration, when I say identity branch, I'm not just talking about the passwords. I'm talking about anything that can authenticate credential sessions, refresh token, auth branch, service principals, API keys. And in 2025, the attacker didn't need to win against your endpoint protection or your firewall. They need to win against your identity life cycle. So if you remember one model um, from this session, identity compromise and excessive privilege and weak visibility is equal with fast quit breach. If any one of these is missing, the blast reducer drops hard. And also, I want to mention from the token theft explained, let me say, to teaching to our SOC. So a lot of teams still think MFA bypass means the attacker guessed the code. Most of the time, it's not that. The flow is user logs into a perfect phishing page, usually an adversary in the middle reverse proxy. The user completes MFA normally, nothing still looks broke. The attacker steals the session cookie, the access token, the refresh token. So the attacker replace it, and now they are the user, often without MFA prompt. So the question becomes, what are we really defending? Not login. We're defending the session legitimacy, let's say. So that changes your control. Move admins to we can protect ourselves from move admins to phishing resistant MFA, reduce the session lifetime, like we said before, and alert on token replay signals. That's something that we don't say often to new device, new geo, or weird ASN, unusual client tab, or unusual token use pattern. So if your software say can't see session creation or token use and sensitive action, you're blind to the real tag. Um, and that that other I want to mention, it's regarding the 90 seconds from the case study for Salesforce or Auth. It's the scenario is you get an alert, new auth app grants access. In with 10 minutes, there is a spike in Salesforce data exports. Microsoft extended the mails, reads, Google Drive downloads. So the question one is, what's your first action? Containment, containment, not investigation. Here's, so the correct muscle memory is to revoke token sessions immediately for the affected users or app, disable of app, revoke consent tenant wide, freeze high risk accounts until an identity is proven. What's the question? As a second question, what do you check next for a blaster radius? Which user granted this app? Which scopes were granted? What was accessed? Exports, mailbox rigs, driver downloads. Any secret is access data, keys in a CRM nodes, uh, password in docs. What do you prevent recurrency? Lockdown, user consent, redundant scope, require admin approval, add detection and auth granted exposed data. And I don't know. Uh,
Can I jump in with a couple?
yes?
Okay, so and this is just me, just kind of reviewing some of our initial research material. So just I'm just thinking of some of the big breaches in 2025 that we have seen related to this, so you can kind of expand on it. But